a recording here for Microsoft Word. This lesson is going to cover how to do the last two draw assignments. So the first one I'm going to do here is called House Layout, and I have a brand new Word document open. And for this one, first thing I want to do is change the orientation. Now, because of this, I wanted to zoom in a bit. I'm going to go up to, I could go up to File menu, which is a little bit blocked here, and go down to Page Setup there. Or I could go to Format menu and go to Document, and you will find Page Setup here. So either one takes you the exact same page setup. This is where you can change the orientation to wide, which I recommend for doing house layout, because this is going to be kind of like an architectural drawing. So you want to have as much room as possible. Though you could probably do it 1-inch margins if you want to make your margins a little smaller. Maybe go ½ an inch, might give you a little more room. But when I click OK here, it's going to go to a wide shot, which should be a little bit easier to work with. And I have my Microsoft Word here zoomed in so students can see it better. Now this is meant to be kind of a fun assignment, be again a creative assignment. I'll just call it House Layout here at the top, so you know which one I'm doing. Make it a little bit bigger and maybe bold, and then I'll put the cursor underneath. Now when I say house layout, I'm talking about like laying out like an architect would a house. So I have a little fun with this, pretend like, hey, you know, if I can make a house, we're only doing one floor. It's not going to be a multi-floor home, just one floor. And I'm going to show you some of the things I'd like you to try. You don't have to do it exactly the same way I do it, but we're going to break it into rooms. We want to have at least 1 or 2 bedrooms, at least 1 living room, family room. I like to call mine the home theater room, but some multi-purpose room for that. A kitchen, bathroom, maybe a little dining area, garage, some things like that. So again, I'm going to do this very, very quickly just to give you a few ideas to get started. Of course, you guys will make much better, much nicer layouts that I'm sure I will do. But to get started, I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to go to Shapes. And you might say, where do I get started? Well, start with a rectangle. That's usually a good one to do. And I'm just going to drag here and start my layout there. So that's going to be about this wide here. Now I don't want a blue here in the middle. So with that selected, I'm going to go to Shape Fill. And right now I'm going to do a no fill. I would recommend probably a no fill, maybe a light gray at the most, but really fill's not too important. For the line around it, if you want to change the color, you can. I'll do mine just for something different, but you can leave black would be okay too. You can leave the default line, or if you want it weighted slightly more. Probably don't want it weighted too much because we'll be making some thick lines for windows and doors and things. I'm going to just deselect right there. So that's just getting started here. Now I'm going to do one more rectangle here, and you might say, what's that for? I'm going to do another shape. Go to another rectangle, and this is going to be my garage. Now some of it gets cut off here a little bit, but basically this is going to be my garage. I'll label it later. We'll do some labeling with callouts, and of course I'm going to change this fill here. This one I'll do a light gray, just do something a little bit different, but I don't really have to do that. So that would give me a garage here. Then I'm going to start doing my rooms. Now I'm going to just start roughing this in here. I'm going to, and if I just want to do a line, I don't have to go all the way to Insert and Shapes again. I can just simply go up here to Insert, go to Shape right here, and you got your most basic tools right there. At least that's how it is on mine. I hope it's that way in yours. If not, you can always go back to Insert, go to Shapes, and just go to Basic Line, which would be right there. Now I do the basic line here. I'm going to start here. This is going to be my, well actually I'll do it here. This will be my home theater room. So I'll come out here and I'll do something like that. And I'll stop. Okay. Whoops. And actually if you want to save yourself a little time, you can do a copy and paste. And there's already another line. Okay. So I can make another line maybe over here for now, which I can always resize and move around as I get ideas. I'm going to do another one here. I just did a paste. Now for this line here, whoops, I accidentally moved my entire house here. I didn't want to do that. Clicked on the wrong thing. Okay, now for this line here, I'm going to move it here, and I'm going to change the direction. Now, of course, you could make new lines and draw if you prefer. But this one here, I'm going to do something like that. And move it down. Whoops, again, I keep clicking by accident here on the wrong thing. I'm trying to do this quite quickly, so as to not to bore you guys too much. And I get that here, and I'm going to drag this up here and pretend this then here is going to be a doorway. Whoops. Okay, now for my doorway, I'm going to do another line here. And I'm going to do just a little short one. It's going to come in like that. I'm going to make it a bit thicker. So I'll go up here and go to my weights and do that. So it gives a little different look. Now that's oftentimes how architects will make a doorway. Windows. How do they make a window? Well, I'm going to do a similar thing. I'm going to go to the line. And I'm just going to simply draw a line here. And then I'm going to make it very thick. Go to weight, maybe a 6 point. I'm going to make it black. Whoops, that made it thin too, so I want to go back to the weight. Okay, that's often how they do windows. They do something like that, so you get a feel that you've got a window there. Now, if you want to say I want to put some more windows in, I can click on this, copy it, paste it. Whoops. I clicked on the handle. I can put it up here and say, hey, I got a window over there. And this I can straighten a little bit. I think you kind of get the gist how to do windows. I'm not going to sit and do them all around the whole place, but anywhere you think you want a window. Now, a garage door might be a little different. For that, I'm going to come down here. That's going to be my garage door. But, of course, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger there. So that's meant to be a garage door. Now, if I want to give that a different color or look so it looks a little different than the windows, I can do that so I can feel like that's a garage door. And I could do things like, obviously you can do this with all kind of doors and that. I'm going to do an example here, zooming in a little bit, on a bathroom. I'll pretend I want a bathroom back here. So I'm going to put a line first. I'll go to Insert, Shapes, go back to the line tool here, and say I'm going to do something like this. Whoops, again I clicked on the whole thing by accident. Easy to do. I'm going to say, okay, I want this right here. I pretend this is a little hallway here, or a door or something. I haven't decided yet. I haven't designed this area. So I'm just going to put a couple, you don't do a lot of detail, but a little bit of detail so you get a little feel for what it is. So in here, I'm going to zoom in by doing, I'm going to go to View, and you can just click on this little zoom tool and zoom this way, or you can go down here and zoom in this way. So whichever way you want to zoom in so you can see better. The more you zoom in, the easier it is. Because I'm doing a screen recording, it's a little more challenging. But here it is. I'm zoomed in quite a bit here on the bathroom. I can click on this little line here and fix it up a little bit, drag it up a little bit, straighten it a little bit, and so on. Okay, now I'm going to go up to Insert, go to Shapes, maybe a nice oval tool. You know, I can do maybe what appears to be a toilet. Okay, I can leave that blue fill there. That would probably work okay for that. Now I want to put in maybe a bathtub or a shower. Could be either. And I'm going to go to rounded rectangle, do something a little different. The second rectangle over is a rounded rectangle. And I'm going to do something like that. Okay, so that should give the, might give this here a little different fill. Let's see what some of my pre-made options are. Maybe I want to do something like that. Make it a little colorful. And then maybe I want a little sink encounter here. So I'm going to go up to Insert and go back to my shapes and see what would look good there for a little sink encounter. Probably just a little, click the rectangle tool and just do something simple like this. Okay, that looks kind of like a bathroom, doesn't it? Maybe give this a little different color. Now we're going to do some labeling here. So the callouts will be good for that. We'll go back to our Insert, go back to our Shapes, And you gotta scroll down to the callouts, which are down here. So I'm gonna click on this one right here, and we don't have to label everything in here, but I'll just do this here. Now I could resize this. I'm gonna move this up here, move this one up here like that, bring this down here, and I'm gonna click in here, and I will put bathroom. And of course I can edit all this. I can edit the text. It looks kind of big because I'm zoomed in quite a bit, but it's probably not really that big. I just did a little different shape fill. I'm going to change the color here in my text. Try a couple different things. Okay, I did a different style there. So that zoomed in quite a lot. Now let's say I want to do a kitchen next to it. Whoop. Moved over maybe a little bit too much. Say I want to put a kitchen right here. So again, we don't need to have a lot of fancy stuff here. I'm going to click on that line right there. I'm going to copy it, paste it, move another one over here. Maybe I want to do something like that. Okay, and then make it look like a kitchen. I'll go to Insert, go to Shapes, click on Rectangle, maybe put in a counter here, and whoops. Click on that, maybe give it a different fill and color. Okay, let's see what fill options we got here. Just do something a little bit different here. Maybe I'll put in another one. Click on Insert, and I'll go back to Shapes. This time I'll do a rounded rectangle, and maybe I'll do something like this here. Could be, we're not going to go into details. Could be sinks, cabinets, any of that kind of stuff, ovens and all that. We don't have to do that much detail. Okay, I'll make that one grayish for right now, and then I'll do one more, give it like kind of a refrigerator look. And so we'll go to another shape here, and again I'll do a rounded one just to do something a little different, and I'll pretend that's like the refrigerator. Now, beside callouts, I want you to use at least some callouts, but you can do some text boxes too. So I'm going to go back to Insert. I'm going to go back to Text Box, Draw Text Box. I'm going to drag one here. I'm going to type in kitchen. Of course, this can be slightly bigger. Drag that in a little bit, not too far. Move it up. I could always resize the text, resize the box, but that would give me a kitchen. And you could probably imagine all the other things you can do. Put in windows, put in doors. I'm going to make this here a little smaller. And this is just a start. Okay, zoom in, zoom out, do your rooms, add stuff to it, color code, use different shapes. Have fun with it. I'm going to add one more real quick here so people know it's a garage. I'll make a text box down here. And I will literally put garage so people know that this is a garage. Okay, something like that. If I want to make it a little bigger, I probably would. And like I said, that's just a quick start, but you get a little feel for how you can do the house layout. Now I'm going to go ahead and save this here and literally just name it house layout. And you can save it in your draw folder, in your Word folder. So let's see here. Of course, I'm at home, so I don't actually have it, so I'll make pretend I have a draw folder here at home, at school. But right now I'm at home, so I'll just put it in the draw folder. Okay, so now I'm done with this one here. Do my last save on it. I pretend it's all filled in. Did a bunch of stuff. It looks nice. Now we're going to go and do a new one. So for the new one here, I clicked Insert there, click Blank Document. You can go to File and do a new document, whichever works. Now for this one here, it's going to be a front of house, and again, it's probably best going horizontal. So go to Page Setup, either on the File menu or via the Format and Document, and then to Page Setup. Then when you get here, click on the horizontal and click OK. And again, if you want to change the margins a little less, you could try that. If you think this will be fine, this will be okay. Now, this does not have to have any connection whatsoever to your house layout. So don't think about what does the front of my house look like. If you want to do that, you can, but don't feel the need to do that. So again, I'm going to do this very quickly just to get you started. And of course, I'm sure you'll come up with much better ways of doing this than I do. I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to go to Shapes, and I'll start with a rectangle. So there is a start of a, say, a 2-bedroom house. Okay, and I'm going to pick a different fill. And for right now, I'm probably going to go to Texture. And I don't really, there's a way to do bricks. I think you have to go to More Textures. And then you got to go over here to Pattern Fill. And then you pick something that looks like bricks, which I'm looking at. It's kind of small here, but I'm going to give it a try. Maybe this one. It's not quite brick. Maybe that one. Looking around, see what looks like bricks. At least one of these should look like bricks. Okay. No, that's not bricks. That's not bricks. Okay, I'm hitting all different ones here. Seems like we have it. Oh, that's kind of brick-like. Okay. Now I gotta give it a different fill and look. Do I want red brick? I want background. Maybe more colors. Let's see, I want a brownish color. Let's see what happens. Well, maybe a little, try out some different shadows of this here. I'm going to do my background again. Pick a little different, more colors. Maybe a more overtly brown. Okay. Well, either way, it may not look super brick-like, but it's close for now. And then I'll pretend I have a garage, so I'll make a little different shape for that. I'll click on Insert, go to Shapes, go to Rectangle, and I'll pretend maybe my garage is something like that. Okay, again, this is being done very quickly. I'm sure many of you will come up with much, much better ways to do this. So this one here, I'm going to give my garage a slightly different look here. I'll give it maybe a darker look here. And I will put a garage door on there. So I'm going to go back to Insert, go back to Shapes, go back to Rectangle, and do something like this here to give it the look of a garage door. Okay, and then I'm going to give this here a fill. I want my garage door to look like that. I'll do that for now just for the heck of it. Now, for the front of my house, so I probably want to put a roof on it. So I'll go back to Insert, go back to Shapes, and let's see, do I want a triangle? Is there a 3D option here? Again, students will probably come up with way better options than I do. But I will try, what's this one right here? Oh, that's for a flow chart, so that's probably not a good idea. Okay, I'll give this here a try. Maybe this trapezoid. That might be a fun one to try. I haven't tried that one. Okay, that's kind of looking roof-like right there. Okay, even gives kind of almost a little 3D look there. I'm going to give it a little different color, maybe black. Drag it down a little bit. Remember, you can use the arrow keys too. When you have something selected, I'm using the arrow keys right now to precision line it up. Okay, I need to put a roof on my garage too, so I'm going to do the same thing. You're going to go to Insert, Shapes, and I may do the trapezoid again and do something like this. Again, I'm not saying this is perfect, but the idea is just to try some things out and see how they work. Okay, there's my garage. Now, for the windows, one trick you can do is go to Insert, find your shape. I'm going to do a rounded rectangle. Say I want a couple windows up here the same size. So I make one. Maybe I'm going to put 3 of them across. Okay, I'm going to do a fill. Maybe gray. Maybe put a little border on it. Okay, and of course you can probably do other things if you click around. And now say I want 3 of them. So with one made, I'm going to do a copy, Command C. You can go up to Edit menu and do copy here, or the Command C. Command is a keyboard or the key next to the space bar. So I do that, copy it. Now I'm going to go do a paste. Now I have 2 of them. So I'll move, whoops, I accidentally clicked on this. Okay, I use my arrow keys to put it back. Okay, I'll probably move this here over a little bit. Okay, now I'll try to do it the right way. Well, I keep moving this somehow. Well, either way, I think you get my point here. I'm having a little bit of a hard time here. There, finally getting that lined up. And then I'm going to do one more paste and try to move this one here. And of course, I can play around with the alignments until I get it looking good. Okay. And let's say I want a little different shape window up front and a door. Go to Insert. I'll go to Shapes here. I'll do a rectangle here. I'll do a, whoops, I keep clicking on this here when I go to put that on there. Oh, okay, I think I lost my rectangle there. Something went wrong. I'll try to undo it. I keep doing undo until I get it right. If you screw things up, always go to Edit, Undo. Okay, now I'm going to go back to here and do my shapes again. Whoops, wrong one menu. Basic shape. Draw a window there. In the interest of time, I'm just going to leave that color. Then I'm going to do one more here real quick. Go to Insert, Shapes, and do my door. So my door is going to look more like a door. Okay, I'm going to give my door a different fill. And of course, you can always go into more detail here. I can put lines in by my windows and do all kinds of things like that. Put in driveway, try to draw some bushes. There's lots of different things you can do here. But this was just to get you started. I'm going to do a file and save here. I didn't label this one at the front. This is front of house. So it would be a good idea if I made a little text box. If you go to add text later, rather than try and find a place to put your cursor and figure out where to put it, feel free just to go to Insert, go to Text Box, and just say, oh, maybe I'll put one up here. So I'll draw a little text box up here. That's the nice thing about text boxes. You can put text wherever you want. I'll just call it Front of House by Mr. Rio. You don't have to necessarily put your name on if you don't want to, but if you do, that's the way you do it. Now, to make my text bigger, I'm going to go back to Home. I'm going to go here, make it a little bit bigger, maybe make it bold, maybe even change the color of it. Okay, so there it is. And if I don't want that border on there, I can just double click on the edge, go here, make no outline, deselect, and now I got a text box there and no border. So there is a brief lesson there on making a front of house and a house layout. It should be fun projects. Do your final save here and then save it with your draw. You'll be submitting all of your draw assignments very soon. We'll be done with this very shortly, and then we'll move on to the next section, the last section of Microsoft Word. So good luck with your projects.